Coming up on Temple Update, I'll tell you what's making all this noise.
And students share a few tips on how they make it to class on time.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Temple Update. I'm Cherry Gregg.
And I'm Dan Koob. We start off Temple Update with information about a celebratory week on Temple's main campus. Over in the newsroom is Lindsay Keeler. Lindsay has information on Temple's Engineer Week. Take it away, Lindsay.
That's right. Thanks, Dan. Temple's College of Engineering planned a week filled with events in conjunction with National Engineers Week. The week was focused around informing Temple students about engineering through different games, demonstrations, and giveaways. Temple students from different organizations around campus gathered in the Engineering and Architecture building to participate in the Academic Tech Bowl. The students were put into groups and competed against each other for prizes in the Jeopardy-style game. The questions were focused around topics relevant to engineering, including chemistry and economics. Students were also invited to a sit-down discussion about the challenges the BP oil spill created. Office of Restoration Director Dave Westerholm talked about his experience with the oil spill and how to be better prepared for future disasters. This week will be wrapping up tomorrow with another day filled with events, including bingo and a luncheon for students and faculty. Students can also pick up free supplies at the swap table or sign the sustainability pledge and take Temple one step closer to being a more sustainable campus. All of these events are being held in the College of Engineering and Architecture building. It's great to see students celebrating their field of study. Now back to Cherry in the studio.
Thanks, Lindsay. Ambler landscape, architecture, and horticultural students will be looking to find their equilibrium. Now that's more than just a play on words. The students are crafting their exhibit for the 2011 Philadelphia International Flower Show. They hope to find a balance between natural landscape and landscape design, architecture, horticulture, art, and sustainability. The flower show would take place March 6th through the 12th at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. Temple University is now the custodian of an important piece of African American history. Last week, the Tuskegee Airmen of the Greater Philadelphia area donated the chapter's World War II archives to the Charles L. Blockton Afro-American Collection. Chapter Chairman Dr. Eugene Richardson says they made the donation to keep the history of the Tuskegee Airmen alive.
I think it's extremely important to maintain the archives because Tuskegee Airmen are a very large part of the history of blacks in aviation.
The Tuskegee Airmen were the first African-American fighter pilots to serve in the Army Air Forces. The archives are on display at Sullivan Hall and at Paley Library.
Construction continues on Temple's campus, and it's affecting students in more ways than one. Updates Jillian Marshall has more.
The Temple 2020 plan is now in full force, and the construction has been an inconvenience to pedestrians. The construction is not only loud, but it makes the commute to campus more difficult and has made detours for students during their commutes.
15th was traveled pretty heavily, and just not being able to take that every day kind of stinks. But yeah, walking down Montgomery, you got bikers coming by you, trying to squeeze through. It's just a hassle now.
The sidewalk being closed off is really inconvenient, especially when cars are just coming straight at you all the time.
15th Street over there, right behind McGonigal it's blocked off, which is really annoying. Anytime I'm trying to get onto this side of campus, I have to go around it, which is really, really inconvenient.
The Temple 2020 plan is currently renovating and expanding Pearson and McGonigal halls and constructing 2 new buildings across campus, a new architecture building and a new dormitory. In the future, a science education and research building will be built. Though the construction is a hassle now, students remain optimistic.
Temple will look even nicer, so new buildings and nice buildings.
You can visually see it being built. That's pretty cool. If it's good for Temple, it's good for me.
Even though the construction may be an inconvenience now, most students think that it'll improve Temple in the long run. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Jillian Marshall.
Submissions are now being accepted for the Diamond Screen Poster Contest. The competition is hosted by the Film and Media Arts Department and is running until February 28th. The winning design will receive a $50 award and this year's Diamond Festival booklet. For more information and to access the application, go to diamondscreen.org/fest.
Members of Temple's faculty are working to prevent potential environmental problems in Pennsylvania. Chemistry professor Daniel Strongen is examining the effect of acid mine drainage into the state's groundwater, while environmental engineering professor Michelle Bufadel is looking into the effects that fertilizers have on the Delaware estuary. Both men hope their research will help better Pennsylvania land. Tourism is Pennsylvania's second largest industry, but tourism in the Keystone State thrives more when smaller cities between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh draw visitors. Students from Temple School of Tourism and Hospitality Management contribute to tourism by completing internships outside of the city. The Pennsylvania Tourism and Lodging Association says small-town internships offer students the best environments to learn and opportunities to be hired out of college.
One Temple architecture professor has been building up his resume. Robert Trempe traveled to Canada to enter his design in the annual Warming Hut competition. The huts will be placed on the river trail in Winnipeg and serve as a resting place for skaters once the river freezes over. More than 130 designs were featured. Trempe's Under the Covers design finished in the top 5.
Last week, Temple students had a prime opportunity to practice their networking skills. Updates Abby Rozier has more.
Each spring semester, Temple holds an annual Career Week. The event connects Temple students with employers from around the area. This year's Career Week consisted of 3 events, the last being Temple's Career Fair.
The purpose of this event is to connect students to employers who are hiring, especially in this job market. It's so important for students to have the opportunity to talk to employers about their organization, what types of positions are available, and this is a large part of what the Career Center does.
There were over 60 employers at this year's Career Fair. Temple students were using this opportunity to polish their networking skills and meet with potential employers.
I'm here because I need a job doing what I studied, and I have a job now. I'm a box boy in a warehouse, and I don't want to do that the rest of my life.
The Career Fair was beneficial for both the students and the employers.
It's kind of a nice opportunity for the students to try us out too. So not only are we looking at possible candidates to join our store teams, they kind of get a feel for, is Target a good fit for them also.
For more information on events like this one, go to temple.edu/career center. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Abby Rozier.
Still to come on Temple Update, Isabel Garcia tells us about a new type of rice that is good for your heart.
And Temple comedians square off in a national competition to find the funniest college students.
Don't go anywhere. There's still much more to come on Temple Update.
We'll be right back. Isabel Garcia is here with this week's health report. She has information about new health care reform. Isabel?
Yeah, this is actually great information for college students. Thanks, Cherry. The U.S. healthcare reform law will provide college students with some extra benefits. Beginning in 2012, insurance providers will no longer be able to limit health coverage for students. In addition to staying on parents' plans through the age of 26, providers can no longer drop a student's coverage for errors on an application or an illness before the age of 19. Dr. Ajuki of Temple School of Medicine discovered a new type of rice which may improve the health of your heart. The grain keeps the subelarone layer of brown rice intact, which is typically shaved off during the refining process of white rice. In Ajuki's findings, the additional layer blocks hormones related to high blood pressure. Further research could lead to new drugs to help fight that condition, as well as heart disease. And the Temple University Center for Minority Health and Health Disparities hosted a discussion in the School of Medicine. Undergrad med students from different universities had the chance to talk with current professionals about continuing their education. With programs like this, Temple hopes to attract more minority students into the medical fields where they are currently underrepresented. And a new government study suggests cell phone usage significantly affects your brain. The electromagnetic radiation that comes from mobile phones can increase a person's brain activity. Researchers say there's no concrete evidence that cell phone exposure is harmful. However, more However, more studies are being conducted to measure the long-term effects of the radiation emissions. In the meantime, experts suggest using Bluetooth-like devices to limit cell phone contact with your head. And hopefully it's not too bad because I have my cell phone on me at all times.
Me too. I guess I'm gonna have to get one of those headsets or something.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Isabel.
Thanks.
The life of a college student usually involves running across campus from class to class, but sometimes it just isn't enough time. Anya Cleveland tells us more.
Beach between classes. Others have just enough time to observe the freestyle rap battle by the bell tower. But most students are rushing to class, literally. With only 10 minutes in between classes, some Temple students find it hard to make it to their next destination on time.
Sometimes it's been pretty hectic, especially after with 3 classes in a row or so, it can be pretty hectic.
I don't think it's enough time because if you have a class in Tyler, which I do, and then you have to get to all the way over on the other side of campus, it's difficult.
In the morning and in the mid-afternoon kind of time is a little hectic.
When students have no choice but to schedule classes back to back, stopping for a bite to eat is out of the question.
I usually just go to class. If I need to get food, I just wait it out.
There is a university matrix system available online that all departments must follow when scheduling classes, but that explanation doesn't mention how the 10-minute grace period was developed.
I think we do need a little bit more time to get there.
I think 15 would be reasonable.
So maybe 10 minutes is enough time to get to your next class if it's in the same building. But for the many students whose schedule has them all over the campus, 10 minutes feels more like 10 seconds. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Anya Cleveland.